What is up, Ivy Leaguers? We have a banger of an episode for you today here on the Ivy League Sports Podcast. So let's dive right into it, okay? So, we're going to talk about college basketball versus NBA. And right now, it feels like there's a certain power struggle among TV views and viewership among college basketball and the NBA. There seems to be a bit of a power struggle there. And I think it's mainly because of college basketball's legitimacy versus the NBA's effort issue. Because right now there seems to be an effort problem in the NBA, at least during the regular season, okay? We're seeing stars just sit out, all right? They feel like they don't have to play in the regular season. And it's quite a problem right now because the NBA regular season feels like a preseason. It feels like preseason games where the stars don't play, or at least if they do play, they don't give effort. They feel like they're going 50% the whole time. And look, I get it. It's an 82 game season, but still, it's not what the fans like. And then you go to college basketball and you see these kids, it really feels like they're giving 110 every single game because they're trying to get to that next level. They don't know if they will. I mean, you look at the March stakes. You look at the stakes when it comes down to March Madness. I mean, March Madness is probably the best tournament in sports right now, outside of the World Cup. I mean, March Madness, you never know what's going to happen. Something new is going to happen every time you watch it. Whether it's a guy that's going to go sell insurance next year is draining threes on your favorite basketball team, or if it's the favorite team getting knocked off by a Cinderella. It's just more fun to watch. Fans feel more connected to college basketball than they do to the NBA right now. And I know that's a bit of a hot take, but I think truly when you look at it, fans like college basketball more because it's one. I think personally, it's actually better basketball to watch. It's not just stars chucking out deep shots. No, it's better basketball, technically better basketball, and also you feel more connected to the team. I mean, we were just at Alabama versus Arkansas, which some are deeming game of the century, by the way, double overtime victory for the Crimson Tide. It was an insane one to watch. We just loved to see it. I felt so engaged. The crowd was so engaged. I don't think you see that in NBA games anymore. Maybe during the playoffs, but not during the regular season. That is, I think, the big argument there. I think that's why college basketball seems more genuine right now. It's because there's no effort in the regular season in the NBA. But let's move on to our next little segment. All right, we have our college basketball check in. I'm going to give you teams that I trust when it comes down to March and March Madness, obviously. So the first team that I trust is going to be the Iowa State Cyclones, right? Yeah, the Cyclones. Now look, they have been playing some top tier opponents in the Big 12, knocking down Kansas, knocking down Houston. They know how to win, okay? They play a very defensive driven basketball game. I mean, they have a great defense. They know how to force turnovers. They know how to score in transition. They know how to create shots when they slow it down offensively. They are a really solid team. And I mean, I'm just looking at the teams they've played. I mean, it's fascinating the fact that they've been able to keep the record that they have. They have quite a good record. Um, they regularly play a top tier team. I mean, they seem like they're playing at a level that can't be matched. Except this college basketball season, we have noticed that anything can happen. Truly, anything can happen. I'm right. There have been some crazy upsets. There's some teams that are making headlines that we did not think would be making headlines. And it's just good to see. I love to see it. I'm a big fan of the sport. I don't really pull hard for any one college basketball team. I mean, I pull for Bama, of course, but I don't pull hard for one in particular. It's just fun to see for the sport. So, yes, when it comes down to March Madness, the first team that I truly trust is Iowa State. I don't think they are going to be upset. They know how to win. They know really, that's all they do. They know how to win. They just win. And now the second team that I trust, the current number one team in the nation, the Michigan Wolverines. I know that's saying something coming from me, all right? I do not like Michigan. I make it very obvious. I don't like Michigan. but I trust them in college basketball this year. They've only lost one game, if I'm not mistaken, and they've played some solid opponents. They're not playing all cupcakes. They've had a relatively easy schedule, but I don't think in basketball any game is considered a cupcake game because you never know what's going to happen in basketball. It's very different than football, where football is all about physicality, and typically, not always, typically the bigger man wins in football. That's not how it is in basketball. Basketball, you could have a guy that's 5'6" and he could start pulling up from half court and lacing it, and then you're in trouble. So it is basketball is different in the sense that anything can happen on any given day. That is why I think it's impressive that Michigan has only lost one game at this point. They've really been able to put together a solid record and a great team, but we will see Michigan tested tomorrow against Duke, the Duke Blue Devils. So obviously, this trust that I have for them could go away after tomorrow night because obviously Duke, number 3 team in the country, that's going to be a great game, number 1 versus number 3. Make sure you tune into ESPN to watch that. But I think Michigan will end up winning it, but I think right now those Iowa State and Michigan are the 2 teams that I have poised to make a deep run in March. I think both of them could very much be in the Final Four, very much be Final Four teams. I think that Michigan would probably get the luck of the draw because there would most likely be a number 1 seed. Although I think Iowa State could probably end up being a number 1 seed when the bracketology comes down to it. But I'd be really, really interested to see a Michigan versus Iowa State game. I think it'd be crazy to watch. I think both these teams are really fun to watch right now. So, yeah, those are my 2 teams that I trust in March, Iowa State and Michigan. Now let me give you my sleeper team, all right? And I say sleeper team, but they really haven't been sleeping, all right? Let's look at Miami of Ohio. I mean, these guys are the only undefeated team in basketball right now, in Division I at least. They're the only undefeated team, and they have been playing lights out basketball recently. I mean, they are on a roll. They have been just beating anyone that comes in their way. It is incredible to watch. I mean, it's just really fun to see. They're a fun team to watch. They seem like they have so much fun within a group. I mean, I just love watching their bench interactions. I think they're great. And I really, really been proud of the product that they've put out this season, really. And they could be really a team to watch out for when it comes down to March Madness because I don't think they'll be as high of a seed as they probably should be. And when March Madness starts, you know the seed really doesn't matter when it comes down to March. I mean, anything can happen, as I've said in this episode already. And so I would really be watching out. If your favorite team plays Miami of Ohio, I would be really scared, really watching out, because they are quite the team. Really good transition offense, great defense. They're able to hit the threes, they're able to rebound, and that's really what you want within a basketball team, especially at the college level. Yes, they're my sleeper team to watch out for when it comes down to it. So Miami of Ohio, watch out for them. One more thing on the college basketball note, I wanted to mention that hype does not always equal championships when it comes down to basketball. I feel like there's been a lot of hype around some teams in college basketball, especially, when in reality it's just because of the logo. I mean, come on. And we talk about this in football a lot, how the rankings are based off the logo, not the team that's on the field. And I think that's a fair statement to an extent. But in basketball this year, I've seen a lot of, especially in the odds, Vegas-wise, there's been a lot of favoritism towards whether it's Duke or these big blue blood programs just because of the logo. I mean, I'm not saying Duke isn't great this year, but some of the odds making has been definitely favoring Duke a little more than I think they should be. But I mean, it's not necessarily a problem. It's just, like I said, hype doesn't always equal the championship. That's just the truth. I mean, no matter where it's coming from, that is just the truth. All right, that's the end of our college basketball segment. Let's move on to a quick little short mini segment here that we are going to title NBA Reality Check because we know they need a reality check. So, let's talk about it. There is a problem in the NBA. We all know it. There is a major, major issue in professional basketball, and that is that they don't give effort. The NBA has lost a lot of its appeal because their stars do not give effort in the regular season. They don't give effort until after All Star break. Conveniently, we're discussing this right now after All Star break, so they're going to start showing effort. But All Star break is kind of the moment where they stars tend to start showing more effort because they get closer to the playoffs. And I'm not going to lie to you. I've said it once in this episode, and I'll say it again. The regular season just feels like preseason. It feels like the preseason of the NFL. Either your favorite player doesn't play, or if he does play, he's given 50%. I mean, it's just not good. It's not good. It's not fun to watch. I mean, or the stars will just, well, like I said, they'll just not play. I mean, it's just not fun to watch as a fan. And if you're a fan of a team, for example, Memphis Grizzlies, and your star player just decides not to play for 2, 3 weeks, why am I going to watch my team? You know, like I'll watch them, but I'm not going to care what happens. And so it hurts the viewership. It hurts the money. It hurts the season tickets. It hurts every aspect of the game. So there needs to be a shift in the mentality because right now it's just not healthy for the sport. And now, don't get me wrong, the playoffs are incredible to watch. The playoffs are super fun. But no one's watching the regular season, and that's a problem. But I will say, the NBA, once it comes to the playoffs, is incredible. I mean, the NBA does a very good job with their playoffs, but the issue lies in the regular season. For sure. The issue is there. But that's our little mini segment for the NBA. Now on to some football. Of course, you know me. You're not going to escape football when you're with Ivy Taylor on the Ivy League Sports Show. Never. Never, never, never. All right. We're going to talk about draft hype versus reality, okay? Because I feel like right now, a lot of, with the draft coming up, people have been talking about, oh, the combine, oh, the pro days, all this stuff. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy put up however many stats in college. So I want to talk to you about the reality of hype and the reality of talent, okay? Here's the truth about the NFL. Big names in college rarely equal big players in the NFL. Let me say that again. Big names in college rarely equal big players in the NFL. And that's a tough mentality for a lot of people to accept because you go from watching your favorite SEC quarterback dominating the SEC to being an analyst on Fox Sports because they didn't make it in the NFL. Look, it's tough. I get it. I do. It's tough, but it's the truth. Now, I think part of that is the NFL is a very differently wired game. In the fact that everyone's faster, everyone's bigger, everyone's stronger. So it takes quite the player to be able to keep up with those guys, especially as a rookie or sophomore. Really, your first 3 years, it takes a lot to be able to keep up with those kind of athletes. So it's difficult to judge rookies and sophomores because they're just adjusting. But there are certain tests that college players can go through, like me as an analyst. I have a few tests that I'll put players through that, okay, then maybe if he passes these, I see a trend, he might be able to be a big name in the NFL. So the first test, and it's the test that you can do right now. It's called the eye test. Watch their tape. It's as simple as that. Watch their film, watch their tape. Don't just watch the games. Don't just watch the highlights. Watch the bad plays. Watch the plays that, oh, the receiver dropped that pass, but it was a awesome throw. It was thrown into a tight window. He went through all his reads. Even watch the play where the quarterback sits in the pocket and throws the ball away. Because if you can watch the quarterback's eyes, I almost dropped my tablet here. If you can watch the quarterback's eyes and see he goes through his first progression, second progression, third progression, feels the pressure, throws it away. That's a sign of an NFL quarterback right there. he knows that he's out of time. Now, of course, sometimes he can make a play with his feet, but let's say the pocket has collapsed and there's no escape. Best thing he can do is throw that ball 10 yards into the sidelines as long as it's not intentional grounding. So look at that. When you're looking at the eye test, don't just look at the highlights. Look at the breakdown plays. Look at those plays. Look at the plays where they gain 2 yards, 3 yards. Look, if I want a running back, if I'm an NFL scout and I'm trying to get a running back, I don't want the guy that's going to break for 50 yards but then not get any more yards the rest of the game. I want the guy that consistently gets 3, 4 to 5 yards every play. Because then guess what? He'll break one for 52, but he'll end the game with however many hundreds of rushing yards. That's something that as a NFL guy, that's what I'd want. Because look, like I said, the guys are bigger, faster, stronger in the NFL. So he's got to be able to be okay with breaking the first tackle out of the backfield, falling forward for a couple of yards when he can. That's how running backs make it in the NFL. So that's all the eye test. The second test that you want to look at is the mental test. And this one's very similar to that quarterback progression test. The mental test is really just, can he contain, I'm trying to word it. It's difficult to word. Anything mental is kind of difficult to word. It's, can he deal with stardom? Can he perform on Sunday and then go home on Monday and do what he's supposed to do and not go out to parties, not drink too much, not go do something stupid? That's a very important test. And you look at one of the more sad, very sad stories in NFL history, Josh Gordon's story. Obviously, he was a superhuman athlete. I mean, and I think I'm going to do an episode fully on Josh Gordon one day. Josh Gordon was a superhuman athlete, and he had a problem off the field, as all humans have problems. This guy just happened to be a superhuman athlete. And it ruined his career because he wasn't reliable. Coaches couldn't rely on him to make the right decisions off the field. And that's a very abbreviated version of it. Like I said, I want to do a full episode on Josh Gordon. It's really a tough subject, but I really want to. So the mental test, or really the off-the-field test, is hugely important for rookies because these rookies are going to be given a signing bonus of quite a bit of money. What are they going to do with that money? Are they going to blow it all on parties and cars and stuff? Or are they going to do what's right with it? You know, make good financial decisions. I want the guy that's going to make the good financial decisions. Plain and simple. So that is a huge, huge test right there. And I'm not going to lie, the NFL has done an iffy job evaluating talent the past couple of years. I feel like the main talent in drafts are starting to fall to rounds 2 and 3. I mean, the NFL, I'm not saying, I've read a Mel Kiper article actually. He talked about how the NFL has just not done a good job scouting quarterbacks. And I don't disagree with him. I think the NFL has certainly changed a lot to what they look for in a scout or in a scouting report. And I think they're starting to lose a lot of the eye test aspect of it. I mean, I'm not saying they do a bad job necessarily, but I think they could do a much better job. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, I feel like the main talent really falls to rounds 2 or 3 now, but it is what it is. You know, I'm not an NFL scout, not yet at least. You know, if anyone wants to call me, please do. But that's kind of the draft hype versus reality aspect of it. All right, I'm getting ready to send you on to our brand new segment called Hot or Hold. All right, I'll explain it when we get there. See ya. Welcome back to the Ivy League Sports Show, everybody. All right, this is our brand new segment, Hot or Hold, where you give me your hot takes and I say whether I like them and they're hot, or I'm saying, no, that's just not true. Hold. All right? So, very first hot or hold question is, Michigan is the most trustworthy team in the country. Yes, that is hot. All right? I said it earlier and I'll say it again in the episode. We just talked about this. Iowa State and Michigan are the two most trustworthy teams in college basketball this year. Okay? They've both had great resumes. They've beaten quality opponents. Obviously, Michigan plays Duke tomorrow. This could change, but for now, Michigan is the most trustworthy team in college basketball so far. All right, let's move on. Question number 2. Duke gets hyped for their name, not their resume. I'm going to say hold. All right, look, I'm going to hold on that one because this is an argument that we talk about a lot here on the show. We talk about it with football a lot, and that is, SEC teams get biased rankings because they're whatever. I don't agree. Look, Duke is a good team. Should they be ranked as high as number 3? Maybe not, but I still think they're a good team. They don't get hype for no reason, okay? They have great talent, a great roster, great coaching, great atmosphere, great everything, all right? They don't get too much hype just for the name Duke, okay? I don't agree with that. So holding that one. That was, yeah. Number 3, the NBA regular season has become a warm-up, not a competition. I'm actually going to say hot on this one. Like I said, we actually talked about this earlier in the episode, okay? I think that the NBA regular season is at a very tragic point where stars don't care. Stars won't play in regular season games. They'll only play when it matters. And there's just a lack of effort. And it's pathetic. I don't like it. But, so this is a hot take. I love this take. This is a great take. This sounds like my take, quite frankly. But, yeah, the NBA regular season is a mess. I won't lie to you. It's a problem. But that's a good take. That's a hot take. Whoever did that one. Good job. All right, number 4. Golf has grown too much and has lost its class. This is so tough. This is such a tough question because I personally am a proponent of grow the game for golf. You know me. I'm a golfer. I love golfing. I love YouTube golf. I make YouTube golf videos. I love that golf has expanded its content to not just tournaments on TV that kids want to go play, but there was an incident, I think it was at the Waste Management Open, where some YouTuber, I don't know who it was, like bet some random guy that he could, if he yelled during someone's scream, $100. It's just, that's stupid people. I don't think that's a issue of we've grown the game too much. I think it's just there are stupid people at any profession, and he is one of them. All right? If he's watching this video, I'm sorry. You might not be stupid, but you seem a little stupid. I mean, who would yell in the middle of someone's backswing? That's dumb. And he got kicked out of the tournament, and he is banned from all PGA events for life. So, no, I don't think that's entirely true, but it's relevant. It's relevant. We'll put it that way. Number 5. All right. We overvalue draft talent. This one makes no sense. Hold up. We overvalue draft talent every year in the NFL. We overvalue draft talent every year in the NFL. I think what this question is trying to ask, I don't know who put this one in there, is that we expect too much from rookies. I think that's a fair statement. We expect a lot from rookies in the NFL. We expect them to come in and change a program just like that. That's not true. That's not how it works with the NFL. That's not really how it works with any team, I feel like. Very rarely does that work. So no, that's a hold. I don't agree with that statement. I think because I don't think we overvalue it too much. I think you just have to manage your expectations. So no, I'll hold that. I'm sorry. If you put that in there, I hope I answered that right. I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah. All right. Number 6, hot or hold. QB stability matters more than star talent in today's NFL. Now, this is a great take, and I 100% agree with this take. All right? In the NFL nowadays, you just have to have a stable quarterback. That's not true. I should say that. You don't just have to have a stable quarterback, but if you have quarterback stability, your team is set up for life, okay? Because guess what? You can have great star power outside of the quarterback position. It all starts with the quarterback. If your quarterback is unstable and throwing interceptions left and right and it's all in his head, you are going to go nowhere as a football team. This is 100% a great take. Love that one. Love that one. All right, number 7. We have 2 more, all right? We have 8. Fans confuse being entertaining with being good. I love this take. This is a very good take. I'm not saying that I'm going to say it's hot because basically I think what it's asking is fans think if a team's entertaining, then they're good. And this can be for any sport, really. This is a great take. I think I'm going to say hot. I love this take because I compare it to Texas Tech football. Look at Texas Tech football. One of the most entertaining teams in the nation all season. And they were good, don't get me wrong, but they were super entertaining. They would throw in a linebacker, quarterback, and it would be fun to watch. Whoa, they throw high-flying offense. Whoa, they do this, they do that. That's so fun. They must be so good. They got blown out by Oregon in the college football playoffs. They weren't as good as they looked. That's just plain and simple. They looked fun, but they weren't as good as they actually looked. So this is a great take. That's a 100% a great take. Number 8, our final hot or hold for the episode. I love this segment. This is a fun segment. Y'all make sure to send in your hot takes. By the end of, this is a question. Ooh, here we go. By the end of the college basketball season, people will admit they were wrong about blank team. All right, so by the end of the college basketball season, which team will have proved everyone wrong? I'm guessing is what this question's asking. I'm going to go with UVA, all right? The Virginia Cavaliers, look, they're 23-3 right now at the season. They are being disrespected. They're ranked 11th, all right? That makes no sense to me. They are a wonderful basketball program. They've played great basketball all year. They have a great record, great talent, great coaching staff. They've played a pretty brutal ACC schedule. Not the most difficult, but still a pretty tough ACC schedule. I think they are a team that could really make a run in the tournament when it comes down to it. So they've been disrespected by people. People need to admit that they are wrong about that. So that is I love that question. Ask me a question. This is our hot or hold segment, okay? That's the whole point of this. You ask me what you want to hear, all right? I'm here to talk about it, okay? That is going to be it for our episode. This has been a great episode. We're trending upwards here at the Ivy League Sports Show. We're moving up, all right? We are going to really ramp this show up. We got some great guest lines up for 2026. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. This is the Ivy League Sports Show. Thank you for watching. Until next time, see ya.